This vertical bar graph shows data from 5 groups. Each group made a prediction for how many M&Ms would be in their bag before finding the actual amount in the bag. The blue bar represents each group's prediction, and the red bar represents the actual amount. Compare the bars for each group. Which group's prediction was closest to their actual amount? Group 3 has their prediction closest to the actual amount in the bag, and you can tell from the bar graph since the bars are about equal. Which group had the largest gap between their predicted amount and actual amount? When you look at each set of bars, Group 4 has the biggest gap between their predicted bar and their actual bar. So Group 4 had the largest gap between their predicted amount and actual amount. Why do you think the bags varied in the actual amount of M&Ms? If you notice, Group 1 had a little over 50 M&Ms, Group 2 had about 48, Group 3, 49, Group 4, a little over 50, Group 5, right at 50. If you think about a bag of M&Ms, it always has the weight on the outside of the bag. So if Group 1 had a few more M&Ms than Group 2, we might conclude that Group 1's M&Ms were smaller and that Group 2 had a couple of M&Ms that were larger in size, which might make up for the difference. In Group 3, they may have had one M&M that was bigger, so they didn't have as many as Group 1 and Group 4. So all of the groups had the same amount of weight in their bag, but how that weight was distributed among M&Ms is what was different. This horizontal bar graph shows the amount of points scored by 3 different teams over 4 seasons. The orange bar represents Team A, the blue Team B, and the purple Team C. What are some conclusions that one could make from the graph? Pause the video and take a minute to look at the graph. You may have observed that Team B appears to have the strongest team, since they have way more points than the other teams during most of the seasons. In 2004, Team A had a good season and Team B had their worst season of the 4. You also may have seen that Team C seemed to stay pretty consistent until the 2005 season, where they only had 5 points. Some of your conclusions may have been different, and that's okay. The point was to get you to think about the data.